One question I love to ask successful people is about lessons from failure. And that's because it's great to talk about the successes and, high commissions or, top 1% or what have you, but I can't speak for you, but for me, I rarely learn from my wins. Take me back to a time where a moment that felt like maybe a failure or maybe it was a mistake, but taught you one of the more important lessons of your career.
So I think it was one of my first listings that I had over $1 million. And the gentleman that owned the property was a little difficult to speak with, right? And I guess I was a little intimidated by his way of communicating. And so I didn't communicate like often enough. And
Hmm.
even though I was doing all the work and I was showing his property and things I thought were going well, one day he called my broker and he told him he wanted to switch realtors because he had
Oh
no
no.
idea what I was doing. And my broker called me and said, "What's happening?" I said, I was in shock. I was almost in tears. I said, "Oh my gosh, I've done so much work. I've done this, I've done that." And she said to me, "Does he know that?"
Ah,
And so, the light just went off because, yeah, I had sent him emails, but I hadn't properly communicated everything I was doing. And I certainly didn't call or speak with him like I probably did with my other clients because I was intimidated. And it ended up that we didn't switch realtors, but only because, I had great advice from my broker and I called him and I apologized and I told him I understood and I really did if he wanted to switch. But this is what I've been doing and I'm so sorry I haven't communicated with you. And he said, well, let's see how you do in the next 10 days because otherwise, we're this isn't working. And it was just I'm not used to that kind of I call it failure because communicating is one of my strong points.
yeah.
And so what it taught me is that, you have to be yourself and you have to communicate and you have to tell people what's happening all the time with their asset. This is their asset, regardless of whether they respond to you the way you want or not. Right.
Mm,
So
that's right.
I think that was really for me to realize that someone thought I was not communicating, and they were right. It's not just that they thought I was not communicating properly with them, was huge.